Okay.
All right, so we have brought in a very special employee and team member of Diamond Creek here. It's the resident veterinarian and the stallion manager, all things reproductive for Diamond Creek Farm, Dr. Courtney Pink. Welcome to the Creekside Chat.
Thanks for having me.
And where are you coming to us from today?
Right now I'm in my office in Wellsville, Pennsylvania.
All right.
I'm based out of the Pennsylvania farm with all the stallions.
And we appreciate your service because without you, the stallions would not have such great pregnancy rates. And so,
including Father Patrick, who's on his way to be above 90% this year.
That's right.
Great job. Wanted to dial in. It's getting to be crunch time in the breeding season, and breeders are starting to get a little bit nervous about getting mares that they don't have in foal yet. So Adam prepared a few questions to try to give some good information to some breeders out there on some tips and tricks from all your experience. You've bred hundreds and hundreds of mares and manage all of our reproductive stuff. So Adam, what do you have for?
All right, so this is actually a question from an email. So this person basically says that they've bred their mare several times last year with no success, already a couple of times this year. They feel like they've done all of the regular things that their vet has recommended, including cultures and cytologies, with no luck, or no answers, I should say. So is there anything else this person can do to sort of kick that mare into overdrive and get her pregnant this year?
Sure, there are a lot of things that you can do, but at this point, like, this mare is proven to be a problem, right? She didn't get in foal last year, multiple cycles, and then this year a couple of cycles. It's an old timer technique, things that they used to do like in the early 80s, but it's now making a little bit of a resurgence, especially with the research in the last couple of years about the biofilm that's present in the uterus that's produced by the bacteria. The bacteria will make a biofilm and then live underneath that biofilm. So that's kind of what you need to get rid of. So my go-to, and I have done it on a couple of our own mares and have had good success, is doing the kerosene lavage. Now,
Which
I know
sounds absolutely crazy.
Right, and it sounds terrifying because you're going to put kerosene in the uterus of this mare that you want to get a baby out of. But I assure you, like, it is super, super safe. People dump kerosene on kids' heads to kill lice. So, like, if you can dump it on your kid's head, you can probably put it in your mare's uterus. So basically what I do for that is I do about 250 cc's of kerosene, and it literally is kerosene that you go and you pick up at the hardware store. That's where we got it. Our maintenance guys, hardware store, got kerosene. And so what I do is I put about 250 cc's of kerosene in their uterus in the late afternoon, early evening. Then the next morning I lavage their uterus out with up to 4, 5, 6 1-liter bottles of saline at a time, and it's amazing the amount of crud, for lack of a better scientific word, that you get out of their uterus, and we have had great success doing that. So I would definitely recommend doing the kerosene treatment. We've had good success.
Okay.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Unleaded kerosene.
You would think that would be toxic, to
Right.
life, but I get that it's just an essential base chemical, right? That probably has some great properties. So how do you actually get this kerosene into the mare? Are you just using a pipette like you would to breed her, or? Yeah,
so that's what I do. I use an insemination pipette, and I pull up a couple of syringes, 60 cc syringes.
Straight kerosene.
Straight kerosene, and I put it in the mare. And so the other thing with it is that you want to do it when they're in early estrus, or like early part of their heat cycle, so that their cervix is open so they can dump some of that out. And stuff. You don't want to do that when they're not in heat. You want to do it just when they're in heat. And the other thing is that you can do it at the beginning of their heat cycle and still breed them on their heat, that same heat cycle. I did that last year. We bred Donatella Lightning. We flushed her with kerosene in the beginning of her heat cycle. We bred her, same cycle, and she got in foal. So
love it.
You can do that.
And then the saline lavage, you use that without using kerosene.
Yeah, it's just straight saline because you want to get everything out. I mean, it's sort of the whole the solution to pollution is dilution. So you just flush everything out and out and out, and you keep going until it's clear, and you're not getting any debris left coming back out.
Like you said, we've had tremendous success with the handful of mares that we've used it on last couple of years. Yeah. Yes. We continue to use it.
Great advice.
Yeah. Okay. So next question is, and I think this is one that we struggle with from clients as well that call not only you, but the office or Sean or myself, is when is the best time to give ovulatory drugs? Right.
Yeah. So that's a great question. There's a lot of misconceptions about ovulatory drugs, when to give them, how to give them, whether or not they're effective and stuff. So the basic rule of thumb for ovulatory drugs is that it induces ovulation in a mare, and it takes about 40 hours. So for us, what we recommend and what we do here at Diamond Creek is we're checking the mare and say she's got a 40 millimeter follicle today, so I'm going to breed her tomorrow. Well, I'm going to give that ovulatory drug today. So if I give it at noon today, she's going to ovulate tomorrow overnight, sometime overnight, about 40 hours after she's gotten it. And then that way ovulation is very close to time of insemination, and the sperm are from the stallion into the mare, and not, and then the mare ovulates, and it's not a very long time. So we definitely recommend giving the ovulatory drugs the day before you're going to breed the mare.
Now, what about, let me take it another step, because it's easy for us to do because we know when the semen's coming and when it's going into the mares, but people that are spread out everywhere that may be relying on flights or FedEx for it to arrive at a specific time, I mean, they should still follow those same recommendations?
Yeah, so basically, like if you give the ovulatory drug even between 4 in the afternoon and 8 in the evening, and you're going to fly the semen in the next day. So, for instance, today's Wednesday, so you give the ovulatory drug between 4 and 8 o'clock tonight. You fly the semen in tomorrow, depending on what time the semen gets there, 6 p.m., 12 a.m., 2 a.m., that's fine, because she's actually not set up to ovulate at that point until between 6 a.m. and noon for that. So you still would be fine anytime during the day, up until about 8, 9 o'clock at night to give it, even if the semen comes in late at night, because I know sometimes you're at the mercy of flights, and flights aren't coming in until 11, 12 o'clock at night.
So it's basically a math problem. You start when you expect to get the semen and work backwards. So that fifth grade math that you had,
right? Yes.
Come in handy.
There are 24 hours in a day, so you need a little bit more than a day and a half.
Yeah. It's a big takeaway here that you do not want to administer your ovulatory drugs the day of insemination. In other words, you do not want to administer that in the morning if you're going to breed that evening.
I mean, you can. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just think it's better because the mare is going to ovulate closer to when you breed her. So the sperm don't have to live longer in the mare waiting for the mare to ovulate. So
it probably reduces the chance of doubling, right?
It reduces the chances of doubling it, and it increases your pregnancy rates too. Because then the sperm have to live a long time.
All right, we got two more questions. One from the public and one from me. So the first one from the public: vaccine protocols for a newly pregnant mare. So this guy's got a brand new mare this year. She's just off the track. She's been in foal now for just under 2 months. Brand new owner. What do you recommend?
Sure. So this is sort of like what to expect when my mare is expecting segment here. So we go off of the AAEP, the American Association of Equine Practitioners, their basic guidelines. So there are 2 different categories of vaccines: the core vaccines that every horse should get no matter what, and then the risk-based vaccines. So brood mares are going to fall into that category as well. So the most important thing is to make sure that the mares are vaccinated somewhere in the 4 to 6 week range prior to them giving birth, because that is going to give enough antibodies that they can pass on to their foals, because foals are born without any antibodies. They're immunologically naive. So vaccinating the mare, in essence, helps the foal. So the core based vaccines that you want to do about 4 to 6 weeks prior to them foaling is the Eastern encephalitis, the Western encephalitis, the West Nile encephalitis, tetanus, and rabies. So those are the ones that you want to make sure they get 4 to 6 weeks prior. Now, most of the vaccines now come in combination. So if you're going to get the Eastern, the Western tetanus, you're probably getting a flu in there. The flu is considered a risk-based vaccine, but we go ahead and vaccinate for it anyways, and I would recommend that we go ahead and vaccinate for that. The other one is also considered risk-based, but it's basically essential for all broodmares, is the herpes virus. And you might have heard of pneumabort shot or a rhino shot, and that's going to prevent the mare from aborting or having an abortion. And you want to give that at 5, 7, and 9 months of gestation. So as soon as you know your mare is pregnant, you should get out a calendar and start calculating dates. So 5, 7, 9 months for your herpes virus vaccine. The other one, rotavirus, that's considered a risk-based vaccine as well. We do give rotavirus, and so that helps prevent diarrhea in the foals. So that one's more for foals than actually for mares. So you want to give that one at 8 months of gestation, and then you want to give 2 more shots of that 4 weeks apart after the first one at 8 months. Now, and it doesn't have to be exactly like 8 months on the dot. As long as you're within a 2 or 3 week range of that 8 month mark, you're fine to do that. Other risk-based vaccines, botulism, and we again do vaccinate for botulism here. And that's more on a location-based thing. If you're seeing botulism and stuff, the vaccine is excellent. I would recommend doing that. And initially, it's a 3-dose booster series, but as long as the mare's been vaccinated, you can go into that same 4 to 6 week period prior to her foaling. And then the last one is leptospirosis. And so, again, we vaccinate for that. Because in Kentucky, it's a real hot spot for that, can cause abortions and stuff. And again, that's a risk-based thing. So if it's not in your area, you don't necessarily have to vaccinate for the lepto. And then Potomac horse fever, again, risk-based, and it's really going to be dependent on your area. They see Potomac horse fever a lot in New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, Eastern Maryland, that sort of thing. So you just would want to consult with your veterinarian, see what's in your area, what you need to vaccinate for. And we have a PDF file that Caroline's going to post on our Facebook page that talks about the vaccines for broodmares. So hopefully that's
I was going to say, I can't remember all that. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He's over here taking notes. We're struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot. So we'll put that up there on our Facebook page. People can download it, and then that way they'll have an idea of what to do. But definitely that 4 to 6 week period before your mare gives birth, get in touch with your veterinarian and make sure she gets vaccinated.
Yeah, make sure you find that link that we're going to post on the Facebook page too for all this. So
yeah,
that's great information. Now a little fun stuff. So a little rapid fire. So we'll start with favorite stallion.
Oh, that's a good one. It's supposed to be rapid fire. I'm probably gonna have to go. This year it's Patrick or Mickey.
Oh, so it switches every year for you.
Yeah.
Depending on personalities.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How about favorite foal?
The creatine foal out of Swan and Only, but that's a personal choice.
A recent one.
Yes.
Yeah, but so I was going to ask favorite mare, but now I know what your answer is.
Right, that's my favorite mare, Swan and Only.
What happens if I sell the mare?
Then I'll be very sad.
Well, the filly yearling out of her is for sale. So, Courtney, it's time for you to get a syndicate together.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you missed the early part, which was supposed to be on Facebook, but clearly.
Oh, yeah.
So we appreciate your time, Dr. Pink, and we'll get this posted, and hopefully you help out breeders out there. I think it's important that breeders know that if they want to talk to you, they can call Diamond Creek Farm, and we'll hear your extension, and they can leave you a voicemail that you'll get to when you are back in your office, because you've helped many of the breeders who maybe are new to it or are experiencing an unusual case to get their mares in foal. And people need to understand that this is a two-way street. We cannot have successful stallions if mares don't get in foal. And we do a lot, your team especially, to provide that good product when the semen goes out. But we need the breeders to do the best that they can possibly do. So you are a resource to them.
Yeah, and they should use it.
They absolutely should, because it's.
I'm happy to answer any phone calls, questions, emails, what have you. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want pregnant mares, right? So like, however we can help, and I can help, I'm more than happy.
It's great.
Thanks, Courtney.
Appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Well, Adam, do you think we should just go ahead and wrap up this show so we can just post a recorded version of our show?
Yeah, we could do that.
Let's do that. So let's go ahead and say that this Creekside Chat was actually brought to you by the Stallion of the Week, which is none other than
Father Patrick,
the legend. So we'll roll his commercial.
Hang on, you keep talking while I get this out.
And after we roll this commercial, we're going to have a trivia question that you can comment to win a pack of Stallion stickers from Diamond Creek. And the trivia question is, of course, Father Patrick themed. And then we'll just go through a few of the Father Patrick.
This is the tale of Father Patrick, the standard bearer of a proud lineage, with a legacy of victory and glory all his own. His legend continues to grow.
Father Patrick in control. He does it again. He wins by 2.5 wings. Father Patrick with a breeder's crown.
Be a part of the legend of Father Patrick, now at Diamond Creek Farm.
Be a part of the legend of Father Patrick.
I want to be a part of the legend.
The legend grows. You're a big part of the legend, sir. And
My own mind.
that takes us to the yearlings that we've been able to get out and inspect closely. And we're going to focus on our Father Patrick yearlings. We have a total of 6. We have 2 colts and 4 fillies. The first 2 we're going to go over are at Anvil and Lace, and these are foal shares, where we own the yearlings in partnership. The mares live at Anvil and Lace in Cynthiana, Kentucky, with Doug and Bev Yance. And this is...
Not
Bev.
Bev.
We have a Bev at Diamond Creek. I apologize.
And we love Beth.
Yeah,
and we love Beth
as well. And the first is a colt that's been very exciting for us to watch grow up, and his name is Heist. And what mare is that out of?
He is out of a mare named Miss Paris, who was a great race filly, daughter of Pizza Dolce, sister to Bella Dolce, who was quite good. I think he checks a lot of boxes for people. He's a Father Patrick. He's got beautiful balance. He's good conformation. And basically from day one, he's been, if he's not our best horse, he's the second or third best one. So, I think they're excited. We're excited. I think he's going to end up being a great sale individual.
Yeah, he showed a ton of resiliency as a foal, and he's got that look with his white markings on his feet and on his face, and he's got a lighter color for a bay, and apparently he's very active in the paddock, so I think he's going to turn a lot of heads at the sale. You can see him at the Anvil and Lace consignment at the Lexington sale. I think he's a potential day one
without
horse.
question.
Yeah.
I think he's a day one horse, as he should be.
Yeah.
So this is the type of colt that we've been waiting for this mare. So we're quite pleased with him.
And then we have a filly, Father Patrick filly, of course, and this is out of a mare named Grand Canyon. Excuse me. We have another mare named Grand Cameron.
Yeah.
But this is Grand Canyon, and her name is Reception. What strikes you about this filly?
Again, another Father Patrick, good conformation, good balance. But I feel like, I'm on repetition talking about Father Patrick's. She's just a bigger, better version of last year's full sister that Trevor Henry bought. From the Anvil and Lace consignment. Maybe not the best filly, if we're being honest, right? But this filly she's just better than the last one. And we went out and saw her last week for the first time, in probably 6 weeks because of COVID. And we were very pleased. We were very happy with her. Beth was grinning from ear to ear. So
I think she's got good height, and her range and scope is going to be nice when it fills in. I think a little bit of time, and when we get to the sale, she might be peaking right at the right time.
Yeah,
to be a great sale individual. So then we move on to Malibu. This is a Father Patrick filly. This is on the Diamond Creek side that we have bred and we are raising. And this is out of the mare Swan and Only that we just talked about with Dr. Fink. And so Swan and Only, obviously a great family. We have Swan Hot Mama as well. But this filly in particular, should check a lot of boxes. She is a darker coat, you know, on the darker side of the bay, which is always nice. People seem to gravitate towards that in our breed. She'll be for sale at the Diamond Creek Farm consignment in Lexington.
Yes. She's the first foal that we've sold from this family, and it's a family that we really like. You know, we have her sister, Swan Hot Mom and Swan and Only, and they've produced 9 fillies now. And, you know, it's probably time to release some of these to the public. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick which one should we do. And, you know, and I don't know if I'm being kind of picky, it sucks to sell a Father Patrick, but at the same time, like, they're the ones people want to buy at the end of the day. And this filly is a nice filly. So we're offering this filly for sale this fall for the first time.
Yeah, alongside another filly named Instinct out of a mare named Donatella Lightning. And what are your notes on this filly from the last time we would see it?
Again, she's grown up good. She's sort of flown under the radar. She's never been sick, never been injured. She x-rays clean because we've done the first round of full sets of x-rays. She has no significant findings on anything. I mean, she is clean all the way through. She's clean on the floor. Just a plain filly that's kind of correct again.
Yeah, she'll stand very good for you, and I think balance. And that's what we love about the Father Patricks is athletically, they don't have any inefficiency points. You know, they are as well conformed as any of the
and they correct a lot
stallions.
of the issues that these mares sometimes produce with other stallions, or even that they have themselves. I mean, I remember from Bob Brady had one of the first Father Patricks, and he calls me up. He's like, designed to be, who stands like this, you know, just made a great colt, and he ended up being Green Show. And he called me from basically the day he was born and told me how much better he was than his mare. So
and that's a great tidbit for breeders. You know, if you have a mare that fits Father Patrick pedigree wise, that deserves, you know, to be at that stud fee and produce that kind of individual, and you're concerned about some conformation issues on the front end, we've seen it time and time again. And that's just a really fortunate thing. You know, this next filly is very similar to Instinct. Her name is Yesterday, and she is out of a daughter of Ultimate Cameron. Her Culmination is the mare. This is a mare that we really think is kind of up and coming for us. What would you say about last year's colt, the first foal, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, Capstone.
Yeah, Southwind Frank colt. That again, he was a great colt. He was just from the beginning was just a great colt, and we got rewarded at the sale. And you know, thanks to Sponstead and his team for purchasing him from us. And again, we've heard good things. But you know, the second dam Ultimate Cameron was our first really good race mare, earning just under 800,000. And I had kind of convinced my father that this was the family that we wanted to maybe make as the foundation mare. And up to this point, they've been a little disappointing, and I've been wrong. But Culmination is that daughter that we've been waiting for, I think, from Ultimate Cameron. And you know, first 3 foals now. She had a Southwind Frank colt born this year. Again, you know, she's checking all the boxes. Yeah. I feel like I'm on repeat again, but you know, just she's a nice built mare, and she's putting it into her foals.
You know, the last one that we'll talk about is a colt named Missile out of a mare named Magic Feeling. And what are your notes on this colt?
I mean, he brings a smile to everybody's face. He's just a big, rugged, strong colt out of a Cadabra mare, so sort of what you would expect. But he's big, strong, run through a wall for you, stands up good, very proud colt, carries a little bit of charisma that you want to see in some of these colts. So, you know, he's a colt like Heist that's going to do well at the sale. And I think a lot of people are going to like him.
Yeah, if you're looking at Father Patrick colts at the Lexington sale, put both of those on your list. I think that they're going to be excellent examples of what Father Patrick can do when a cross worked, clearly.
Yeah.
So for this recorded version of Creekside Chat today, we're going to kind of wrap up with a question and the trivia, and then we're going to let you comment. And if you get the answer right, or if you're the first one to get it right, I should say, we will reach out and send you a pack of stallion stickers.
Yeah, which actually have been quite hot.
Yeah, we really enjoyed having these stallion stickers. We're going to look to do some more stuff like that. But what is our Father Patrick trivia question?
It involves one of our other stallions too, but it does involve Father Patrick. So both Father Patrick and Creatine both won their last races in 2015. Father Patrick's last win was at the Maxie Lee at Harrah's Filly, and Creatine's last win was at the Breeders' Crown that October at Woodbine. So both horses' last win, there was one horse in the race, in both races, who was also a horse of the year. So name the horse that finished behind Father Patrick and Creatine in their last wins in 2015. You
Good
tried.
question. Yeah, I tried. I had 2 guesses. I'm not going to say what they were, but I
You struck
missed.
out.
But once I heard what it was, I was like, oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
So we'll leave you all with that, and we will try to go live again next week. We'll figure out our tech stuff, but we appreciate you joining us, and we want everybody to stay healthy out there. We're looking forward to seeing you at a sale soon or a racetrack soon.
The racetracks are heating up starting
exciting,
Friday at Scioto, right?
We're back, baby.
Yes, finally. Thanks, guys, and we'll
All right.
check you next week. Thanks.
Bye.